Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session with the Market Trader. My name's Ray, the Market Trader. And before we get started, we need to get through our obligatory risk disclosure. Okay, so we're going to go and turn our attention to our risk disclosure. So just want to remind everyone that the content that's being published and distributed by the Market Trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offered to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. We all understand that the use of this information contained herein is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, and contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. Future trading does carry a fair amount of risk and is not for every investor. Investor could potentially lose all or more their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation or an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or Forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so now that we've gotten through the risk disclosure, we're going to go ahead and turn our attention. Hey, Greg, we're going to go ahead and turn our attention to our news portal. So we're going to go ahead and move over to our news portal and see what our news portal has to say today. See here, right there. Okay. So you can see that we have actually quite a light day, I would say, in news. Okay. We have Fed member Musalem speaking here at 10:20 Eastern time. And then at about 2:30 this afternoon Eastern time, Trump is meeting with the Armenian prime minister. And outside of that, okay, that's pretty much the only news that we have today. Okay. So rather light in the way of news, okay, which probably is kind of welcome. But obviously, we're always on the alert for any, news on tariffs or war or anything along those lines that obviously could impact us. Unfortunately, there's obviously no predefined time when this all may take place. Okay. So in any case, let's go ahead and turn our attention now over to the trading platform. And let's see what we can, what context we can derive from the markets. All right. So let's go ahead and open up our charting platform here. Let's see, this is it right here. Let's see if we can locate some of that. Okay. There we are. Okay, just kind of make sure that it's visible for everyone. I believe so. And then we'll move this to the hot up here. Okay, so as we normally do, we start off with the gold market. The gold market has technically opened already. Okay. So we'll start off with the gold market. This is, I believe, let's get out of replay mode here. It's doing some things there. Okay. So yeah, so this is the start of the gold market here. We're going to go ahead and start off with the daily. Okay. Looking at the daily, I don't know if this is rollover or something else that's causing this move. Okay. But we opened up with a gap to the upside. Okay. So I don't know. See, I'm looking to the left here. Did it break some of these areas that we've been waiting to be broken? It sure appears that way. Okay. So we've been tracking and following this ascending triangle pattern, and looks like it appears that we've opened above it. Okay. So here we are. There's the top of the pattern, right? And you can see that price is above it. Okay. So that is, I would say, pretty significant, assuming that we can remain above. Okay, because that we're breaking a daily level. Okay, so when anytime we break a daily level, that requires a fair amount of participants to make that happen. Okay, so daily, okay, again continues to remain bullish. Okay, we are continuing to see higher highs and higher lows of late, and the most recent candle has created a gap from yesterday. So again, indications that participants are willing to pay a premium to be a part of this market. Always a good indication if you are in that direction. Okay, price, or if your sentiment is in that direction. All right, let's go ahead now and take a look at the 4-hour chart. We'll kind of drill into this these set of candles here. We're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance range here for a moment, and kind of look at a little bit more closely these candles here. Okay, so what I have is kind of a different VWAP here. Okay, so basically it changes colors based on the proximity or the location of price, right? So if price is above VWAP, then our line is green. If price falls below VWAP, then our price is red, indicating bearish. Okay. I believe it was because of breaking through the order block from 6 a.m. and I think that level will be support. Okay. All right. Good morning, David. Okay. Certainly. Again, whatever the cause, the fact that it's above and the fact that it's created that gap is important. Okay. All right. So for our chart, again, we get some more visibility. Okay. You can see that we opened up here. Let's see. Yeah, we opened up higher here. Okay, down in this range, opened up higher. We kind of stayed in that range. Asia and London. Well, Asia really didn't do much of anything, appears. Maybe a little bit of push to the upside, and then certainly during London, we got a nice push to the upside. Okay, after a retest of this area here around 34.74. Okay, so in any case, for our chart is also giving us the same indication here. I'm going to go ahead and I don't understand why I have this colored as far as my point of control, so we'll modify that. Okay, so there we have our point of control for this visible range volume profile. So 3436 has generated the most volume price wise. Okay, a close second is this 3426 level, and we're above both those levels. Okay, so indicating that we are in some sort of trend to the upside. All right, so take a look at the 30-minute chart. Not exactly, it's probably a little bit hidden here, but underneath this candle, okay, you can see, I don't know if you can, but there is a green, okay, VWAP, okay, indicating that price is above, right? Now we have, okay, since the close, no worries, Bink. Since the close, okay, we've been kind of in this little bit of a range here, okay? Now, like I said, I have kind of a color coordinated VWAP here. So if price is above or closes above, VWAP will change to a color green. If price is below, it changes to a color red. Now you can't see this, but underneath this candle is a green VWAP. So indicating that the sentiment has to some degree turned bullish on the shorter time frame. Okay, we are above settlement price. here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and draw in our fixed range volume profile for yesterday's session here. And we're going to start off here and kind of drag this across to the close. Okay. And you can see that we're well above, right? Price is well above value, right? So we're going to go ahead and extend this line here, because always interesting if we're looking for, a good discounted location, right? It didn't even price was not even allowed to come back to the highs of value yesterday before buyer stepped in here at an hour and a half or hour and 20 minutes before the open. Okay, so again, another bullish signal in this market. Not that we needed more. Okay, let's go ahead and open up our initial balance here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up our initial balance range. There's our initial balance range, and we're going to start off with the Asia session. Okay, we're just going to open up the Asia session and see what the Asia session offered with respect to initial balance. Okay, so Asia session really didn't offer much in the way of upside. If anything, it broke down to the downside. Okay, broke down to the downside, and then basically was locating some buyers, some additional participation here to the downside. It found these. Is it this Asia? I don't think so. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So Asia session really didn't offer much. Okay. If anything, it offered some opportunities to the downside. London. Okay. From initial balance point of view. Okay. So let's open up London. So London also. Okay, we would move to the downside again, found some participation, and we've been bullish ever since. Sort of in the middle of the session here. Okay, we've been bullish ever since, and potentially threatening to get above this 3,500 level, which would be quite bullish. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our anchor VWAP to this discussion. We're going to go ahead and locate London here. London. Right about there. Okay, so London, our VWAP, our anchor VWAP for London is above, price is above that. We're going to go ahead and change our initial balance to the regular trading hours here. Okay, so you can see that we're developing them. I would say already a pretty good size initial balance range. Okay, we're up at the upper end of the level here. I'm going to go ahead and draw in maybe a channel and see what kind of channel I'm right now is kind of inclined to do that for now. Okay. And we're in kind of a little bit of a bearish channel, but we are challenging the upper end of that channel. So assuming that we can get above the channel and hold, and certainly get above initial balance high, well, again, we really don't have, we're kind of in uncharted territory when it comes to this market here. Now, so if I take my Fibonacci tool and do a little bit of forecasting here and take this low, take this high and make a measure and then pull it back. Okay, well, we know that the 61.8% extension is at 35.10. And then the 100% extension happens to fall right at the 200% extension of the initial balance range, which is up here at 35.35 or 35. Yeah, 35.35. Okay. So that's kind of would be assuming that we are going to continue in this impulsive structure to the upside. The 100% extension of this 30-minute swing is looking to be at 35.35. So still a fair amount of opportunity to the upside in this market. So should not be too much of a surprise that I'm headed into a session, looking for a continuation or a possibility for a continuation move to the upside. Now, I do understand that I am in some sort of range. I do understand that I am in some sort of bearish channel here. But if I can get price to, at least for now, right now, the most immediate thing it needs to do is get above 35.03. If it manages to get above 35.03, 35.10 is going to be the next stop, maybe 35.11, and then we potentially open the door for maybe higher prices in this market. Okay, So that's kind of what I have for the gold market. We're going to go ahead now and turn our attention to the crude oil market here. Okay, looking at the crude. Get the symbol right here. Okay, crude oil market. We're going to go ahead and start off with the daily chart. We're going to remove some of our drawings here. Okay, so again, market on the daily looking and continues to look quite bearish, right? We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight days of bearish price action, and we're developing a little bit of a bullish candle as we approach this area of demand. Couple areas of demand that are kind of speaking to me at the moment, right, is this area right here. This appears to be some sort of demand level. I see that we had a pretty good push outside of this area, right, and headed higher. Now we're right back at this level again here around 63.43. Okay, now the next one kind of again moving from balance to imbalance, right? Well, this is it, another area right here, right? Balance to imbalance, balance to imbalance, consolidation to trend. Well, the next area down below is this 62 level. So these are a couple of areas that would be, I would expect to be somewhat supportive. We're seeing some indication of that already on the daily chart. Moving down to the 4-hour chart. Okay, so we're looking at the 4-hour chart. We're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance range here for a moment. Again, you can see that we just closed a rather strong, bullish candle here. But we've been down this road in the past, right? We've had a relatively strong bullish candle that, garnered a little bit of a movement to the upside, but nothing to sustain any sort of bullish price action, right? We eventually got sellers to step back into this market. Okay. So 4-hour, I would say, remains bearish. We are again seeing a little bit of sign here, most recently, right, that maybe we are starting to begin to see some bullish price action, right? We have price that closed above some hopeful sellers here on the left hand side, right? This candle right here outpaced this candle, this candle, this candle. Okay, 3 candles wiped out 3 candles here with one candle here. Now we are at the top end of this range above a VWAP. So again, while we are in bearish structure, we are starting to see maybe a little bit in the way of some price action that at least could offer us maybe an opportunity that would lead us maybe back to 65, and that would kind of keep us in some sort of range price action here at the lows. Moving down to the 30-minute chart. All right, 30-minute chart, we are above settlement price. Okay, settlement price being the closing price from yesterday. We are at a kind of a high volume area, indicating that there is some temporary price agreement going on in the crude oil on the 30-minute chart. We're going to go ahead and open up the fixed range volume profile, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at where price is in relation to yesterday's price action. So we're going to go ahead and go back here to the start of the crude oil session on Thursday, and then drag that to the close here. And you can see that we're right smack in the middle of the value range, right? Indicating that there's a temporary agreement on price here. Okay. Right. So right in the middle. Okay. So good morning, Anthewell. So an area that I'm going to call out here as maybe a potential resistant area is going to be this area here at 64.46, 64.50. Okay. And then I would say that we have some support down below here at let's say, what was that, 63.94, 64, I guess, would be the level that I would say would be supportive. So we're inside some sort of range. Again, as long as price remains above this VWAP, maybe that offers us some opportunity in this market to the upside. we're going to take a look at initial balance, but we're going to take a look at the initial balance not in the session yet because it's technically not open. So we're going to take a look at the Asia session to start and see where initial balance is for Asia. Okay, let's go ahead and open that up. Okay, so what happened during Asia? Well, it appears that the initial balance range, right? It appears that we broke to the upside, okay, in this market, right? On the tail end, well, actually, it took a dip down, right? It extended to the downside, and now has since rallied from Asia into London. Okay, so Asia was down. London has been generally up. So I would say that there's a fair amount of longs in this market. Okay, now of late, we haven't really made any new highs. We've kind of respected the 64.50 level. So we'll have to see, heading into the session, which direction does price take this initial balance range? Does it take it to the upside? Okay. Yeah, basically, yeah, we're basically back inside the value of yesterday, right? So if we remain here, if we remain inside this value range, I would say there's really nothing to do, right? Unless you want to trade 64 and 64.50, right? I'm not, I don't know about you, but 50 tick range is not enough for me to participate for any sort of participation. Okay. So we need to get either above 64.50 or below 64 to really get into some interesting areas and maybe potentially into trend. Okay. So right now I would say that I'm neutral. Okay. Neutral to maybe slightly bullish on the crude oil. Okay. We'll have to wait and see what additional information we get with the open of the market to guide us as to exactly which direction they plan on taking this market. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the equity markets. And we're going to go ahead and start off with the NASDAQ here. Okay. Looking at the NASDAQ, we're going to go ahead and start off with the daily chart. Okay. So we've been kind of flirting with the highs here. We closed off the day bullish, but not with some resistance here. Okay. So we closed off the day bullish, but we did see some selling at the top end of the range here. Okay. Now we have a bullish candle. Okay. Also with some wicks on both ends of the candle. Looking at this from VWAP's perspective, we are technically below on a range that's sloping higher. Okay. Market is still showing indications that it wants to head higher, but it is coming into some areas that could potentially be resistant. So until we make a new high, I would say that we're not necessarily out of the woods. Okay. From sellers stepping back into the market and driving price lower. Okay. The good thing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Four of the last 5 days are giving us bullish candles. Okay. 2 of which are probably of good size and good momentum here. These 2 here is probably indicating some strength behind it. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 4-hour chart. Okay. Looking at the 4-hour chart. Okay. We appear to be in some sort of range price action here at the moment. We're going to go ahead and turn off the initial balance range. So over the last set of candles here, after this push here, after this push lower, okay, so we got a push lower in not London, in the US, right? We did get a reaction, but we have not made a new high, right? So we're still kind of now we're creating a series of candles, really not being able to make any advances in either direction. Okay. So again, we need to understand whether we're going to get a new high here, right? To continue the structure to the upside. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this area as potentially resistant, this 23,655 level. I'm going to go ahead and mark that level in red to indicate this resistant. Okay. This is kind of a pretty strong indication here, right? This is a pretty strong move here to the downside, right? Very little in the way of wicks, okay, in this move to the downside. So if price is kind of grinding back up to this area, it stands to reason that whoever generated this candle could potentially step in and drive market lower. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw and open up my channeling tool here. Okay, and this is kind of what I'm kind of tracking here as far as direction. We are in a bullish channel to the upside. I cannot deny that. But assuming we get below this, I don't know, 23,356 level or somewhere in that range, well, that will open up the door for maybe a continuation of this pattern that we've been getting here, right? We got a nice swing to the downside. We've been kind of grinding higher, okay, coming into an area where these sellers could potentially step back into the market. Okay, so I would say that we're not necessarily out of the woods on the shorter time frame from expecting or seeing some sort of bearish price action in this market. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and now drop to the 30-minute chart. We're going to do a little bit of volume analysis here. We're going to remove some of our drawings that we have here. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my fixed range volume profile and get a sense for where we are in relation to yesterday's price action. Okay, so we'll drag this across to the close, and there we are. Okay, so similar to what we were seeing in the crude oil. Okay, you can see that price is hovering inside value from yesterday, indicating that we are in some sort of balanced kind of price action. You can see the VWAP, this kind of custom VWAP that I have got here. We see white, red, green. Okay, indicating that we are in some sort of range, right? Red, when price falls below, we get a red color VWAP. When price closes above, we get a green. Okay, so indicating we are in some sort of range at the moment. I don't know about you, but I need to see price break this range in one direction or the other. The fact is that we are above settlement from yesterday. We rallied away from it, but we haven't really rallied away too far before, again, we get sellers to step into this market. So right now, we see that price is below our VWAP, okay? Again, we have this level here, settlement price coming in around 23,500, okay? Assuming that we get below that, okay, then that could offer us maybe an opportunity that would take us back down to some of these lows, okay? So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and add our anchored VWAP to this discussion. See where London is in all of this, and I just see right here. Okay, so London is also in agreement with our daily VWAP. Price is below. Okay, kind of giving us an indication maybe that we'll see maybe a continuation move here to the downside. Okay. Let's go ahead and open up our initial balance range for Asia and London and see. Okay, so this is Asia. Okay, so we took a peek below, had I guess you can maybe more of a failed auction to the downside, and then we've since rallied. Okay, now if I change this to London, okay, London session, we actually broke to the upside and reversed. Now we're at the initial balance low of London, looking maybe at the possibility of maybe reversing again and continuing in this range. So we have this range, say 23,578.50, and we have a low here, established low here of 23,507. Okay, so about a 78 point range at the moment. The question is which direction are they going to take it? So similar to the crude oil. Okay, I'm going to need to get more data from the participants, and specifically what I'm looking for is which direction are they going to take this initial balance range? Are they going to take it? Are they going to break it to the downside, drive it through the downside? If so, then I know which direction that they're looking to take this market. Okay. So my initial balance is going to help drive the sentiment for the day for me. And right now it's inside the initial balance range of London, for London in this case. So really nothing for me to do at the moment. Okay. Other than to wait and see where participants take this market. All right. So let's so basically I'm headed into a session. I would say that I'm a bit new. Yeah, it might be, it might be a sit on hands day, right? It could be, right? Because again, it seem to be in some sort of range today, and today being Friday adds to that as well. Okay, so let's take a look at the ES here. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the daily. Okay, again, daily. So a little bit of indecision candle here that closed yesterday. Really didn't offer much of anything other than they really don't know where to take this market, right? We got a very small body, wicks on both ends, and we basically closed very, very close to where we opened. Now we have a candle that's opening bullish, but we've gotten some evidence here that this 64.28 level is somewhat resistant. So do we come back and retest this level here to see if the sellers are still present? Okay, not out of the realm of possibility here, right? We have a developing bullish candle here. Okay. So again, giving us kind of an indication that maybe we are developing some sort of triangle pattern here. Okay. I'm just looking at this from a daily. So we're seeing some sort of pattern that's being established. Okay. So while I don't know necessarily the direction of the move, I can tell you that the magnitude of the move is going to be the mouth of this triangle pattern, right? So I can tell you what, right? Can't tell you direction. I can tell you magnitude. Okay. So it's either going to be a move that takes us back up to 66.55, or it's going to be something that gives us a move back down to I don't know, not quite 6,000, but let's say 6,033. Okay, those are the options here, right? The closer we get to that apex of this consolidation pattern, right? That's kind of what we're looking at. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the 4-hour chart. See what we can. Let me see, maybe hide some of these initial balance here for a moment. Okay, we're going to go hide this as well. Okay, so again, you can see that we are in some sort of consolidation pattern. Okay, we are still, you can see that we are still inside this swing that we had back in the end of July. Okay, and we seem to be kind of grinding to the upside here, but this still feels to me a little bit how we say, more of a retracement than a impulsive directional move, right? It's not of this kind of magnitude, right? We had a very strong move here to the downside. Now we're kind of certainly making higher highs and higher lows, cannot deny that. But the strength of the sellers, when they do step in, they step in with some vigor here, right? The strength of these bullish candles do not pace, especially this more recent one does not carry the same kind of weight maybe as some of the bearish candles that we've been seeing of late here. Okay. All right. So 4-hour chart on the, I guess, shorter time frame, on this time frame, we're seeing maybe some structure that's beginning to show signs of bullish, still very much inside this swing here. So for me to really kind of embrace the longs, I need price to get above 64.58. Okay. Otherwise, I feel like I'm at the potential mercy of sellers maybe potentially stepping back into this market. Okay. Yeah, and there's really no news today to help drive the market today. Yes. All right. So let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. Okay. So similar to what we were seeing in the NASDAQ, right? We price is kind of hovering above and below our VWAPs, right, indicating that it's in some sort of range. We do see that we are above settlement, which is, again, kind of speaks to the bulls that maybe as long as we stay above the settlement price, that maybe that could offer us maybe some further upside. If price falls below this 63.65, then I think it opens the door for price to come back down to I don't know, 63.40. Okay. You're welcome, one tire teacher. All right. Let's take a look at the fixed range volume profile here and see where price is in relation to yesterday's price action here. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and locate this here. We're going to drag it to the close here. Okay. So you can see, unlike the NASDAQ, we are actually kind of hovering right at the edge of value here. Okay. Now, we're not necessarily driving away from it, okay, but we are at the upper end of it. So if we do close back inside it, we've already closed inside it once, okay, and really didn't go too far before we found sellers again. So if we close back again and maybe get below this level here at 63.70, maybe it opens the door for maybe a rotation all the way down to the lows. Okay. That's not out of the realm of possibility here. Okay. Let's go ahead and open up our initial balance. We'll take a look and see what kind of initial balance range were established for Asia and London. Okay. So this one here is New York. So we'll adjust that. Actually, let's turn that off and let's turn this on. Okay. So here's Asia. Okay, let's take a look at Asia. So Asia took a peak below, right? It peaked below. So we had a failed auction, right? We had a failed auction to the downside during the Asia session, and we rallied all the way back to the other side of the initial balance range. For London, we had let's see. For London, looks like we might have rallied. Let's see. Yeah, we rallied. We rallied outside the range, got to the 100% extension, and now we're back inside the range. Okay, so again, as long as we remain inside the range, as long as we remain above value, really nothing for me to do here other than to wait for price to leave the range in either direction. Okay. If it's going to break down, I'd like to see price obviously close below the initial balance range here for London, and that maybe could offer me a revisit of the settlement price. If we use this area as maybe a temporary area of demand, this area could be, again, value area high, could be a logical location for us to potentially rally higher. Okay. So we'll find out here in about 20 minutes or so. Okay. So again, headed into the session, the market is still technically above value. Okay. So that is obviously somewhat bullish, but it does feel like it's more in some sort of range. Okay. So again, similar to the NASDAQ, I would say that I'm probably more in the way of neutral, maybe to, depending on where this closes here, could easily turn bearish here if we can get price to break down below IBL, initial balance low, and this value area high. Then maybe in my view here would maybe turn a bit more bearish. All right, let's go ahead now and take a look at the Dow here. Oops, and then we'll kind of summarize kind of where we stand across all the markets here. Okay, so here we are, the Dow. We'll look at the daily chart here. So again, we seem to be in some sort of consolidation range. Really haven't been able to make any sort of advancement in either direction. I would say that again, the Dow looks like the weakest of the three equity markets to me. We had, I would say, a much stronger bearish candle, and now we have kind of an inside day here, right? We have a candle opening inside, so it would stand to reason that maybe we will test the highs and the lows of this market. Okay. I suspect that we will test the 44,287 on the upside. And if we haven't tested the lows already, we're we're actually very close here at 44,072. Okay. So if I'm just looking at these set of candles, okay, I would say that we're in bearish structure and that we're looking maybe to move to the downside. As I get some additional context, I can see that we've been in some sort of range kind of price action and some sort of consolidation pattern. Okay. And the question now becomes is which direction do they plan to take this market? Okay. So let's go ahead down and move into our 4-hour chart. We'll turn off our initial balance range. Again, you can see that the price action of late has been somewhat bearish, right? The most recent set of candles that we've been getting here have been to the bearish side. We've had a swing to the downside. We had a little bit of a pullback, and now it looks like we found some sellers, okay, again, to potentially drive price lower, okay? If this is going to turn bullish, we need to start to create some structure that creates newer highs. Right now, it seems like we're creating lower lows, okay? Yeah, yeah. The ES and the Dow, I would say that probably move a little bit more similar, and they're probably a little bit less volatile. Yes. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart here. Again, we are above our settlement price. Okay. We are hovering around VWAP, currently below it. We're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here and see where price is in relation to yesterday's price action. Okay, there it is. We'll drag this across to the close here. All right. So again, similar to the ES, you can see that we're on the upper end of the range here. This almost seems like an exact replica of what we were seeing in the ES. We're hovering right at the edge of value. Okay, upper end of value. And we have settlement below us. We've already kind of reacted away from settlement. We were not able to make new highs before we found some sellers. So indicating that there are still some sellers present in this market here. Okay. All right. That could potentially, cause price to move lower. Okay. So if we're going to remain in this value range, I would say that we're probably looking maybe to, potentially stay in this range area of balance. You can see that we are getting a lot of overlap in the way of price action. I'm going to go ahead and open up our anchored VWAP here and see where London was able to take this. And I don't think they took it too far. Looks like right now we are technically above, but we have a very flat VWAP here, right, for London, indicating that we are still very much in consolidation. Okay. I'm going to go quickly take a look here at the initial balance across these markets here. So we'll start off with the Asia session here and see where price was able to go. Really wasn't able to go anywhere, right? We got similar kind of move that we got in the ES, right? Got a nice failed auction. We got notice how settlement price offered us a good location, right? Came down to settlement and reversed and rotated all the way back to the highs before it found some sellers. Again, classic kind of range kind of price action. Moving into London. We'll change this to London and see what kind of price action we got. Okay, similar kind of thing, only in the opposite way, right? While in Asia we got a failed auction to the downside. Okay, London we got a failed auction to the upside. Okay, so right, so you can see, right, we auctioned higher, but were failed to sustain higher. Okay, classic, again, kind of range kind of price action that we're seeing currently. So again, similar kind of view here headed into the session. I'm going to be waiting for some additional information from the market to tell me which direction they want to take it. Right now, it appears that it's content in remaining in some sort of range. All right, so let's go ahead and see what progress we've been making across all one last time across all the markets here. We're going to take a look at. So this is the initial balance range. Let's go ahead and change that to the US range because I don't believe we're looking at London. So let's go ahead and open up the US and see what kind of range we're establishing here. Okay, so we got a rejection to the upside. Okay, so our first candle was a rejection to the upside. So that could be an indication that we could potentially see the possibility of maybe some lower prices in this market, right? We took a peek above, right? We took a peek above and it wasn't welcomed, right? It was rejected. All right. So there's a possibility here that we could maybe potentially extend lower in this market, right? We got a nice little rejection away from the highs, right? So while we are in some sort of bullish price action, at least the start of this initial balance range, we're starting to see that our VWAP, right, prices below our VWAP, prices below our daily and our anchored VWAP. So if we are unable to get above, say, 34.91, then maybe we are in for maybe a little bit of a pullback. Okay. You want to go to the 2-minute? Okay, we'll take a look at the 2-minute. Draw a channel. Okay, so if I draw a channel on this, you can see very, very clearly, right, that price is hovering right on an anchor. Now, when I draw my channel, I try to capture as many of the bodies of the candles as I can, right? So something along these kind of lines would be kind of my view there. Okay, that's kind of how I would draw my channel. Okay, so on the 2-minute side, you can see that we appear to be in some sort of bearish structure, right? So that's kind of how I would draw on my channel on the 2-minute side. Okay. So interesting kind of price developments that are going on in the gold here. So again, I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait for a price to tell me which direction they plan on taking this market. But right now, if I had to make a decision, okay, it appears that maybe they want to take this lower. Okay. We got a nice strong candle, bearish engulfing candle that crossed below VWAP. We got a little bit of a response from the bulls, but nothing that was very much sustained. And now we're again developing another bearish candle. So I would say that maybe we are in for maybe a range to maybe potential bearish day in the gold. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the crude oil market. Crude oil market, again, kind of giving me kind of the same kind of look and feel to what we're seeing on the gold. Okay, so we started the range. We initially rejected, I guess, to the upside here. Okay, on the we actually haven't really officially completed this candle, or have we? This is not correct. If it's 6, okay, this shouldn't be getting anything at this time. Okay, crude oil, let's change that to 6 to 9. I don't think that should affect it, but let's change that to a custom time and see what that does. This candle, okay, 6 o'clock candle developing. Okay, so we have a candle that's developing bearish, is breaking some structure to the downside. Again, I would say that we're looking at it shouldn't be. Yeah, we're looking at a market that I think continues to show signs of bearish price action. Okay, so it'll be interesting for me if we are able to get below, because we are at a level of support here around 64. We are above the settlement price. So I'm going to mark this area down below. Okay, if we cannot stay above this, then maybe we are in for maybe some bearish price action. But right now, it's looking like it's found some legs here at the low end of value for maybe a potential reversal in price. Okay, on the crude oil. All right. Looking at the NASDAQ again, just prior to the market, we're about 9 minutes away here from the open. So we'll take a look here. All right, so again, you can see that price is below, and we remain in a range. I'm going to go ahead and open up the New York, the London session here. Okay, so you can see that we remain in range from London. Really nothing to do at this point other than to wait for price to decide which direction they want to take this. Right now, we seem to be in some sort of consolidation range, and price is below our VWAP, which could offer us maybe something in the way of price to continue to move lower. But we've been here before, right? We've been kind of above and below, really not offering us much in the way of direction. So I'm kind of hesitant to say which direction here because I'm not getting a clear understanding of where they want to take the market. Okay, so I would say heading into the session, I would say that I'm neutral. Okay, and that I need some additional data to support direction in this market. Okay, yes, probably going to give us the same kind of view here. Let's get the correct symbol. Okay, similar kind of thing. Again, we are in range, although we're starting to see maybe some signs here up against the value area high. Okay, that maybe is starting to look a bit bullish here, right? We're developing a candle that maybe looks like maybe they might want to bounce off value area high and drive higher, at least up to this 63.88 level. Okay, so it'll be how we say, it'll be interesting how well this current 15-minute candle closes here in the next 8 minutes. All right, YM, the Dow. Okay, the Dow kind of looking similar, although the Dow managed to get back inside value here. Okay, so the question now becomes: is it going to be able to get above this 44,212, or is it going to continue to remain in range? So again, this Dow has a lot of maybe a look and feel to the ES at this point. Okay, so I would say probably looking a bit more bullish than the Nasdaq, right? So again, we'll have to wait and see which direction they plan on taking it. Right now, we're inside a area of consolidation, inside an area of a balance. We'll need to wait to see which side of this balance range that they decide to take this market. They've already made an attempt to take it higher, right? But they have taken that was met with some sellers, and they drove price back to the other side. Okay, so that's kind of what I have for you guys. I would say I'm kind of neutral across the board. I would say maybe slightly a little bit more bullish on maybe the ES and the Dow. I'm not sure. Yeah, a lot of indecision, no doubt. Okay, and today being Friday, guys. Again, if you've had a relatively good week, Fridays is not the day to be aggressive. Okay, Fridays tend to be days that we actually give back some of the gains that we made over the course of the week. So don't be that guy, okay, to give back some of your well-earned capital for the week, especially if you've had a good week. Okay, so we'll close off there, unless maybe there might be a market there that people would want me to take a look at. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and close this session and close the week just like we started it with trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys. So have a excellent trading day, weekend. You missed market review last night. Okay. There should be a recording. Yes, there will be a recording. Okay. I haven't added it there, but it will be available sometime today. Okay. All right, Carrie. I think that's it for me, guys. And I think, yes, absolutely. Everyone have a great weekend. Yes. Smash the likes, the subscribes, the notification bells. Yes. Let's help Coach Ray get to 1,000 subscribers here. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors about the analysis that I'm providing in the markets that are supporting your ability to navigate the markets. And again, thanks so much for your support till date, and we'll talk again soon. Okay.